Section 1. The scrub contradiction. What looked like a simple engine replacement has turned into something much bigger. Flight 13 is not just swapping out a couple of Raptors anymore. SpaceX has already destacked the vehicle, rolled back both stages to the production site, and begun what appears to be a much more extensive repair campaign. Instead of rushing to launch, they are focused on understanding exactly what went wrong before attempting another liftoff. Here is the contradiction that should make every aerospace engineer nervous. The countdown reached T-0. Everything looked perfect. Then the automatic launch abort triggered. 4 neighboring engines failed to ignite simultaneously. That is not random. That is a pattern. And patterns mean there is a deeper problem hiding beneath the surface. SpaceX is not just replacing engines. They are hunting a ghost. Before we reveal what they found, comment your prediction right now. Will Flight 13 launch this month, or will the repairs push it into August? Section 2. The beautiful countdown. Like many of you, I watched Flight 13 reach T-0 only to end in an automatic launch abort after what had been an exceptionally smooth countdown. It was disappointing. But moments like these are also part of developing the world's largest and most powerful rocket, where every unexpected issue becomes another opportunity to improve the system. Elon Musk quickly explained what happened after the scrub. Some of the engines failed to ignite, triggering the automatic launch abort. He later added that 2 Raptors would be removed and replaced while suggesting another launch attempt could happen early the following week. But that was before the real investigation began. Navigation warnings issued for the Indian Ocean now point to a launch opportunity late on July 20th local time, which also corresponds to July 20th in Texas. SpaceX has also updated its Flight 13 webpage to list the 20th as the primary launch date, while alternate launch opportunities remain available from the 21st through the 25th. In other words, SpaceX now has a full launch window running from Monday through Saturday. That flexibility is important because it suggests engineers are expecting more than a simple engine swap. There are likely additional inspections, repairs, and verification work that could easily take several days. But that's not the biggest problem. Section 3. The D-stack. Work began almost immediately after the launch attempt was called off. Both the ship and booster transport stands returned to the launch site, while the chopsticks continued supporting Ship 40, strongly suggesting that a D-stack was coming. Just over 8 hours after the scrub at around 2 a.m. on the 17th, the ship QD arm retracted, one of the clearest signs yet that SpaceX was preparing to separate the 2 stages. Shortly afterward, road closures were announced for the route from the launch pad back to the production site. Around 3:30 a.m., Ship 40 was carefully lifted off Booster 20, and once separated, the ship immediately began its trip back to Megabay. Only a few hours later, another series of road closures was announced. This time, it was Booster 20's turn. At roughly 10:30 a.m., the booster was lifted off the orbital mount, and later that afternoon, it rolled back to Megabay, one aboard a transport stand. Just like that, Flight 13 had officially transitioned from a launch campaign into a repair campaign. The real challenge was something nobody expected. Section 4. The 2 vehicles. For Ship 40, the rollback was probably more about protection than repairs. Leaving a spacecraft sitting outside on the launch pad for several days simply is not ideal because it cannot remain there unsupported, and the coastal environment exposes it to humidity, salt, and constantly changing weather conditions. There is another important reason as well. Ship 40 is carrying real Starlink satellites, so moving the vehicle back indoors provides a much safer environment while engineers focus on repairing the booster. The real attention, however, is on Booster 20. Although Musk specifically mentioned replacing 2 engines, it is entirely possible the work extends beyond that, because engineers will almost certainly inspect every Raptor surrounding the affected area before approving another launch. Personally, I also would not be surprised if SpaceX decides to replace additional engines should any concerns appear during inspection, particularly if some of those engines were previously associated with B-19's interrupted testing campaign. At this stage, reliability is far more important than saving a few days. It is better to accept a slight delay than risk another scrub or worse, an in-flight failure. But replacing engines is only the visible part of the process. The more important work is happening behind the scenes. And that's where the situation became far more complicated. Section 5. The engine failure pattern. Before any new hardware is installed, SpaceX first needs to identify exactly what caused 4 neighboring engines to fail ignition simultaneously. One area likely receiving close attention is the propellant plumbing feeding those individual engines. The failure pattern was not random. 4 neighboring engines in the middle ring experienced the same problem, suggesting engineers may be investigating components shared by that section, rather than 4 completely independent engine failures. If that is the case, reinforcing or replacing those lines could become part of the repair effort. Another major area of interest is the ignition system itself. If propellant reached the engines correctly, but ignition never occurred, the igniters naturally become one of the leading suspects. This is not the first time Raptor igniters have been discussed following a launch anomaly. After previous incidents, SpaceX introduced several improvements intended to make the ignition process more reliable. If engineers discover another weakness, they may once again revise the design by replacing individual components or introducing additional redundancy to ensure ignition even if one element underperforms. Whatever the solution ends up being, SpaceX will want complete confidence that the problem will not return during the next countdown. What happened next surprised even the engineers working on the investigation. Section 6. The Raptor 3 Repair Challenge. Beyond those systems, every part of the affected engines will undergo careful inspection. That includes the turbopumps, injectors, combustion chambers, cooling systems, sensors, and associated plumbing. Even if none of those components caused the scrub, this is the ideal opportunity to verify the health of every critical system before another launch attempt. Remember, SpaceX is aiming for much more than simply getting Flight 13 into the air. The company also wants a successful booster landing because a clean recovery would restore confidence after previous landing issues and provide another major step toward routinely catching Super Heavy with the Mechazilla arms. Every successful booster recovery brings SpaceX closer to the rapid reusability that sits at the heart of the Starship program. Repairing Raptor 3 also comes with its own challenges. Unlike earlier versions, Raptor 3 was redesigned with far fewer bolts and flanges, with many external connections now permanently welded. That simplifies manufacturing while improving reliability and reducing potential leak points. The trade-off, however, is that repairs become more difficult because technicians may need to cut and replace larger assemblies instead of simply removing individual sections. It is another reminder of why SpaceX places so much emphasis on ensuring engine reliability before launch rather than after it. The inspection will not stop with the engines either. Section 7. The secondary systems. Engineers are also likely reviewing other parts of the booster, including the propellant tanks, COPVs, transfer lines, and avionics, since many of these systems have contributed to delays or anomalies during previous Starship campaigns. Whenever a major scrub occurs, it is standard practice to verify that no secondary issues were created during the aborted countdown. The launch pad itself also deserves attention. Some observers noted that the water deluge system appeared to activate unusually late during the aborted launch attempt. Whether that is normal timing or something requiring adjustment remains unclear, but it is another item engineers will almost certainly verify before Flight 13 returns to the launch pad. The automated abort system, however, deserves plenty of credit. It performed exactly as intended, terminating the launch the instant the computers detected an unsafe condition before the rocket ever left the ground. That quick decision may have prevented a much more serious incident. Several SpaceX employees, including Shauna Diaz and Jesse Anderson, praised the team's preparation and expressed confidence that the issue can be resolved quickly. That is encouraging to hear. Still, there is a tremendous amount of work to accomplish in only a few days. Section 8. The Artemis Shadow. While SpaceX works to get Flight 13 back on schedule, NASA continues accelerating preparations for Artemis 3. With a target launch in the middle of 2027, there is now less than a year remaining, meaning every contractor involved, including NASA, SpaceX, and Blue Origin, is working against the same clock. According to a NASA update released on the 13th, the agency is now full steam ahead. Across Kennedy Space Center, hardware for the SLS is steadily coming together. The SLS core stage arrived at the VAB at the end of April and was connected to its engine section the following month. 2 of the rocket's 4 RS-25 engines have already been delivered, while the remaining pair will arrive before final engine installation begins. NASA will then continue integrating the vehicle with the mobile launch platform while preparing for launch operations testing. Progress is also being made on the solid rocket boosters. The lower segments of both boosters recently arrived at Kennedy Space Center and have already been mounted onto the mobile launch platform, while the upper booster segments are undergoing inspections before final stacking. Inside the Neil Armstrong Operations and Checkout Building, Orion is reaching another important milestone. Engineers have completed installation of the spacecraft's upgraded heat shield, which incorporates lessons learned from Artemis 1, where unexpected heat shield wear was observed during re-entry. Overall, Artemis 3 preparation appears to be gaining momentum. NASA continues moving its own hardware steadily toward launch while waiting for SpaceX's Starship and Blue Origin's Blue Moon lander to complete their own milestones. In many ways, that is what makes Artemis 3 so fascinating. Success depends on multiple companies and agencies reaching the finish line together, meaning a delay for one partner creates pressure for everyone else. That is why every Starship test flight, every SLS milestone, and every Orion update matters. Section 9, the final question. If everything proceeds smoothly, Starship could return to the launch pad by Sunday. If additional testing becomes necessary, the launch could easily slip several more days, which is exactly why the current launch window extends through July 25th. Personally, I think July 20th feels a little optimistic. My prediction would be closer to the 22nd, giving engineers a bit more breathing room while still keeping the launch campaign moving at an impressive pace. The next year will be one of the busiest periods in modern spaceflight. Let's see how quickly these teams can overcome today's challenges and work together to make humanity's return to the moon a reality. The engine failure on Booster 20 is not a setback. It is a lesson. And SpaceX is the best company in the world at learning from lessons. The question that keeps industry analysts awake at night is not whether SpaceX will fix the engines. It is whether the company can maintain its aggressive launch cadence while simultaneously supporting NASA's Artemis timeline. Because one delay ripples through the entire ecosystem. And with Artemis 3 less than a year away, every day counts. The next few weeks will determine whether SpaceX can turn Flight 13 from a scrub into a success. And if the past has taught us anything, it is that when it comes to SpaceX, the next surprise is probably only a few days away. And that question about the engine failure pattern has opened up an even stranger possibility. Because if 4 neighboring engines failed simultaneously, what does that say about the shared systems connecting them? Click the video on your screen right now to find out why the Raptor 3's welded design might be both its greatest strength and its biggest weakness.